Every time I brush my teeth twice in a day, I'd put like a purple. Every time it was once, I would put an orange. And if I didn't brush my teeth at all, they would have no sticker. I gave up on this on the 24th of March. I don't know why. I just completely forgot to do it one day and then it never happened again. Now it's just a relic of something that I started and didn't finish. As you can see, I didn't write brushing my teeth on it because I didn't want people to know that that was something I struggled to do. Hi, my name is Ruby. I was diagnosed with ADHD and autism when I was 22 years old, just 2 years ago now. Having ADHD to me feels like I'm an old iPhone that's battery runs out really quickly. I have to really pick and choose where I'm gonna put my battery. So if my battery runs out, I might need my parents to help me eat, can't get out of bed, not talking to anyone, not working. Everything in this room just becomes like a pit of dirty clothes and empty plates, and you kind of just like come into this cave of yourself. Executive function paralysis is when you have something to do, but you physically can't do it. Your brain is screaming at you to do it, begging you to do it, but you just can't because you've just expended so much energy trying to be a normal person and it all comes crashing down.
So girls and women are diagnosed later or left undiagnosed more than boys. Those who are female, for example, often tend to be more what we call inattentive type. And the inattentive type are those who tend to be less physically hyperactive. So then they're less noticeable. And a lot of girls with ADHD want to do well. They want to, you know, we're socialised to please. And so they mask the symptoms sometimes all the way through high school, and then it's not until they kind of hit that point where they can't mask anymore or there isn't enough structure and organisation. The wheels are off, and sometimes they actually really do come off for those with ADHD.
Seeing other people my age, perhaps with bigger careers, going out socialising a lot, travelling is a big thing that I can't really do at the moment. I have flattered a few times before, but I do end up burning out and coming home. I can feel a little bit embarrassed being like nearly 24 and sometimes needing help eating. Hustle culture is such a huge thing, and when we don't function in a way that matches that, it's not looked at as different. It's looked at as lazy. I started doing pole because having ADHD, I have just a lot of excess energy. I wasn't doing any exercise at the time, and it was just something that looked kind of fun. Kind of became a space that was filled with things that I had potential to do, things that I can do, things that I can achieve if I work hard, instead of normal day-to-day life, which can feel like so many can'ts. Like, you can't do this, you can't be on time, you can't tidy up. I feel like that narrative just completely switches when I come to pole. The times where I don't have an outlet like this, it's definitely just like a mood catastrophe. I am angry, I'm upset, I'm short-tempered, I can't sleep. All the negatives that I could possibly feel, I start feeling, so it's really important for me day to day to just like regulate myself, and this is one of the ways that I actually know how to do that. Going through life with like the volume turned up on your emotions means that my control of them also isn't that great. If I did kind of go to the GP in the past with emotional things, they definitely did tell me it was more like a PMS thing or a hormonal thing or a menstrual thing, and that was kind of the justification for very big ups and downs in my mental health.
A lot of the time with females, it can be put down to emotional dysregulation. A lot of doctors and other people, in other words, they say hormones. You know, young women, especially adolescents and young adult women, that they're emotional and that is part of why they're feeling like they can't manage things. I think traditional medicine, often they're going to look for the thing that they think explains what's going on the best. And I think sometimes the way that females are understood is that when we're hormonal or we're going through puberty, that kind of trumps all else, and so things can be missed.
The cost of getting a diagnosis is not cheap. Initial appointments are $3.57 an hour. My medication currently is $85 a bottle. Normal counselling session with my therapist is $275 an hour. $5,301 in the last 2 years. Seeing all that tallied up makes me feel, one, really lucky. So lucky that I'm able to have the support from my parents, but also really gutted for the thousands and thousands of people out there who need this help and can't get it. Really wacky photo of me, and it just says not assessed next to it, and I just think the irony there is great. I was blissfully ignorant, but I know that there were also times that were really challenging and where I felt broken and where I felt really confused, and it's probably in those moments that I would love to tell her that it's okay and that I'm normal and that there's nothing wrong with me. You don't need to change yourself to fit anybody else's mold.